Hi, my name is Melina and I'm a holistic health coach. I'm here to give you some tips to help guide you on your holistic healing journey. So today I'm going to talk about something that's on a lot of people's minds, and this is the transmission of the shots to those who have not received them. It's why some people are being affected negatively and they have not had these shots. I think it's important to have some basic understanding of what's possibly going on so that we can drop some of the fear. There's a lot of talk about this, and I think first and foremost, the biggest thing is to really try to take in ideas and information as ideas, as possibilities, not necessarily as facts. And this goes for the stories that we read about too, because I think there's a lot of agenda really on both sides of the equation. So we really need to be careful about what we're listening to and what we're believing to be true. That said, there are some aspects that kind of do make sense if you understand biology, some level of biology and the human body and pathogens and just how proteins work. And you really don't need to know too much to grasp what's likely and unlikely here. I know we're living in uncharted territories with these shots. I know that this is somewhat of a giant experiment. I think that there's still some pieces that we can use to navigate these waters. The biggest aspect of these shots and the transmission seems to be the proteins that are in the shots, the spike proteins that are part of the mRNA recipe. These seem to be not just part of the shots, but they seem to be created in the body of those who receive them. It's almost like the body becomes a factory for creating these proteins. Now, these proteins could probably be transmitted to another person who's not had the shots by bodily fluids. So we're talking about any and every bodily fluid you can think of coming into that of another person who has not received the shots. The thing about these proteins is that it's very unlikely they survive very long outside of the body, which is why they need some kind of bodily fluid to exist in. I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I could be totally wrong about this. I'm also focusing on the pieces that intuitively feel and intuitively testing. It's a little bit of knowledge and logic and a little bit of intuition coming together for a blend of understanding. The other aspect of these shots and transmission are the nanoparticles or hydrogels or nanofluids. There's all these different names for what is basically these small pieces of technology that are being injected into the body through these shots. The people who have these in their body can become an antenna and receive transmission, but they can also send out transmission to others around them. And I believe those who are already very sensitive, possibly those who are carrying a particularly high load of heavy metals in their body, even if they have not received the shots, I believe they can be even more sensitive and be more susceptible to this particular transmission. I think that this is a less likely occurrence, but I do believe it is happening for some people who are spending time around those who have had the shots. Another aspect of transmission is directly related to the J&J one. This one does have adenovirus in it, and that aspect of it means that that particular virus can be transmitted from those who have had the shots to those who have not. All of that said, I think that the biggest issue is those who are already in a place of imbalance, those who are already having health issues. These are the people who are more susceptible to having these parts of the shots transmitted to them. I mean, it's just kind of how it goes in general with health and well-being. If you're already out of balance, it's going to be easier to push you further out of balance. But that includes an aspect of fear as well. Fear is a really, really big piece of this that's pushing people further out of balance. I know it's hard to not fall into that trap because we are living in an uncharted territory. We're living in these very new, unfamiliar ways. And in a lot of ways, this is really wonderful that we are living in a new world. But in other ways, it can feel really ungrounding and destabilizing. It's about really tuning in and feeling what's right, what you feel is really going on, rather than just believing whatever you're being told, no matter what the source is. Even me, right? The most important aspect when looking into all of this around the transmission of these shots comes back to something super fundamental, something super simple, and it's frequency. It's the frequency of love. Purity and this source, this connection that we all have the ability to tap into, that we all are inherently a part of. And when we remember that and we hold strong in that connection, we aren't affected, we aren't pushed over by these things, whether they're energetic or physical or not. We have a certain strength that can't be fucked with. So maintaining a place of love within you. I know that's not always easy. I'm not doing it all the time, but there's a lot of that propaganda that comes into my mind as well, and I'm like, wait, okay, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I always know that I'm okay. I have a connection, you have a connection. We all have this direct connection to love. And we remember that and we sit into that rather than this idea that we have to protect ourselves. Everything changes. A really wonderful way, really easy way to help get in alignment with the frequency of love is listening to whole tones. You literally listen to whole tones, which are whole steps, and then the notes of music. So there's no half steps. You only listen to the whole steps. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's it. There's no sharps or flats. So when you listen to whole tones, your body is kind of entrained. It's reminded of a particular purity that is always there, that we have to support us throughout these crazy times. We're reminded that we're always okay, and that the divine is within us at all times. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me, please check out my site at thedivineiswithin.com. I'd love to talk to you and help you get going on your holistic healing journey.